Okay, hello. I am recording this video in order to discuss personal statements and how to write them. And the reason I'm doing this is because of the exams. I have not been able to take your session in class. So I hope that this video will be useful to you. This is the first part of the videos on personal statement. There will be a second part as well, in which I'm going to discuss a sample, but that will be on Thursday. Quickly, let's start with what a personal statement is. So personal statement is a part of your application, which I call the clincher. And why do I call it the clincher? Because this is that part of your application which will really make the difference between whether your application wins or otherwise. All right. So what is a personal statement and why is it required? Please keep in mind that the people who are recruiting you to the university, they do not have the chance to interview you. Your transcripts, your certificates of extracurricular and co-curricular activities, they are already with the admission committee. They have them. All right. Now they want to know the person that they are bringing in. Now they want to know the person that they are recruiting. When we talk about the person, what are we talking about? We're talking about the human being and his qualities. So what are you bringing to their institution in terms of qualities, in terms of interest, in terms of action? And they want to be sure that the person they will grant admission will add value to their university and will also be able to add value to himself by being there. All right. So and also keep in mind that if you are applying, let's say you are applying for engineering, so all the people who are applying for engineering have very good skill sets. They have the same skills that you have: the mathematical skills, the logical skills, physics, numerical skills, all those things. So how will you stand out? The personal statement helps you stand out and win against your equally talented rivals. Rival is not a good word to use, but people who are vying for the same position as you are. So let's quickly look at the parts of the personal statement and what you need to keep in mind when you are writing your personal statement. So first and foremost, a personal statement is an essay, and if you know your basic essay writing skills, then you are well poised to write a good personal statement. That's the first thing. The second thing is it has a format. Like any essay, it has a format. There's an introduction, there's a body, and there's a conclusion. So in the introduction, when you're writing the introduction, the first thing that you write, especially for the British personal statement, or the personal statement for British universities, you need to show your motivation. What is your motivation for studying the program, for enrolling in the program, or for studying the courses or the course that you are studying? If you have applied for business management, let's say, what is your motivation? Why do you want to study it? If you're studying economics, why do you want to study it? All right. Now the world is changing, and economists can contribute, and I believe that with my skills I can contribute to it. Something like that. This is a very raw form of what I'm saying. It's just I'm talking off the top of my head. So show your motivation. Please keep in mind, motivation is an inner drive. It can be inspired by outside forces, but at the end of the day, you have to show your own drive in order to study that particular subject and make your own contribution to your context by studying that particular thing. So motivation, that's the first thing. The second thing is engagement. If you are motivated towards a certain field, then you are actuated to do something there. You have to get engaged. You have to work in that particular field in order to gain more experience about it and to learn how you can implement your skills in that particular field. And what have you done? Have you volunteered anywhere? Have you done any internship? So these are very important things that you have to write in the person statement. Motivation is your claim. If you say I'm motivated, that is your claim. Your engagement is your evidence of that claim. I work there. That shows that I'm motivated to be there. And keep one more thing in mind. If you, let's say you have done 60 hours of work in a particular field, I'm just assuming the figure. So 60 hours, did you do those 60 hours in 2 months? Or those 60 hours were garnered over a period of, let's say, 2 years. It's the same 60 hours. Alright? University will prefer it if those hours were accumulated over a 2-year period rather than a 2-month period. Why? Because your engagement should show your commitment. And commitment can only be gauged over a long period of time. Commitment is not one-off. Okay? So that's why you must start an activity and work for a certain period of time to show that you're really engaged in it. Now, I do understand that 2 years back we were in the throes of the COVID pandemic and all those things. That's fine. But still, if you can show some long-term commitment, that is what the university would prefer. Alright, then after engagement, what do you need to show? You need to show how suitable you are for that particular field that you have chosen. What is your suitability? Now, you don't have to be a braggart in order to show suitability. Alright, but through examples, you can show some skills that you have. Sorry. You can show some through some examples, you can show some qualities that you have which make you particularly suitable for them. And that's not bragging, that's just presenting. Okay. We can use the word that in this part of the essay you are selling your qualities, and selling is all about presentation. Subtle but solid. Okay, presentation has to be subtle, yes, but solid. It should show. Okay, so what qualities will you show? First is all right, and another thing. When you are talking about qualities, when you're talking about suitability, what is suitability for work? If you can manage that work well, you are suitable for it. It's not got to do with skills. Please keep in mind. Skills everybody will have. But what will make you particularly suited for that job? Your ability to manage everything involved in that job. If you're a doctor, can you manage the patient? Can you manage the stress? Can you manage your own emotions? Okay, everything is related to management. And management is same all across all fields. So when whether you are an economist or a business manager or a doctor, and you are going to show your suitability, yes, your knowledge will be there, but your ability to manage it will be paramount. And when you talk about suitability and the ability to manage, what are the words that come to mind? Here are the words that you have to work into your essay. Teamwork, maturity, overcoming limitations, overcoming stress, overcoming time management issues, overcoming limitations, and being proactive. And for each of these, give examples of how you handle these situations in real world situations. Finally, you have to work passion into this. Okay, empathy, also show empathy. Another thing is empathy, which is very, very important. Empathy is important everywhere. Whether you are a doctor or a teacher or a counselor, whatever you are, if you don't have empathy, you will not be a very good team worker. You will not be a very good team worker. You will not be able to communicate with anybody. You will not be able to manage your things properly, because at the end of the day, you have to work with other people. But the importance of working with other people has been overrated. Okay, it does not mean that if you cannot work with other people, you will not be a good professional. That is also not true. That is also rubbish. Some of the best contributors to human welfare have worked alone. All right, they have been very eccentric people. Having said that, it's a plus if you can work in teams and if you can show that. But if you cannot work in teams and you can show that despite that you have achieved and contributed to the welfare of people, that's also fine. Okay, so show your strength, what makes you suitable for this. Empathy, looking at a problem from the other person's eye. That is something that is required in all professions. I'll give you a perfect example of empathy. From history. This is like history. When President Kennedy was shot in Dallas, okay, 1963. That's an old story now. But when he was shot, okay, a bullet hit him in the head, and his wife was with him, and his head fell into the laps of his wife, and blood was just gushing, and her whole dress was drenched in blood, and the governor of Texas, he was also there, and he was also shot, but he survived. The governor survived, and the president was killed. The next day, the governor's son came to condole with the dead president's wife, Mrs. Jacqueline Kennedy, and he came to offer his condolences, but he didn't know what to say, how to speak, what exactly to say. He could not bring himself to say much, and Jacqueline Kennedy understood that he is not able to speak to me. So she walked forward, and she put her hand on his hand, and she said, "You know what, Johnny? The greatest thing that came out of our visit to Texas is that your father is still alive." That's empathy. That's courage. That even when you are reeling and smarting under the effects of your loss, you can see the other person and say that this person is not able to speak to me right now because he doesn't know how to what to say in this situation. And sometimes we are caught in that situation. So show empathy throughout. And then finally show passion for your work, for the degree that you are going for. Build words like, "I'm excited about this." Build words like, "My interest was sparked in this." Okay. I can see the positive impact people can have. I can see I can see how lives can be changed for the better. Okay, things like that. I'm not working for a high profit. I'm working for a high purpose. Passion. Be passionate about it. The more passion you show, the better you present yourself, the more effective your essay will become. The effective writing skills which we learned, they will come in handy when you are writing this. Okay, I wish you all the best for this essay writing, and try to give me the first draft. And please do keep in mind that in my experience, good personal statements go through 5 to 12 drafts. They will be refined, and once you refine them, please give them to your friend or your teacher or your counselor to see how effective it is, and then make changes accordingly until you come up with a winning personal statement. All right, best of luck with your personal statement writing. Thank you.